Hua Mulan was a woman warrior from the southern and northern dynasties of China, who is most popularly depicted as the heroic cartoon Disney character that risked her life in order to bring honor to her father. Although this is the most popular representation of Mulan, the story originates from a legend in China about a girl that disguises herself as a man in order to go to war in place of her aging father. There are various versions of Mulan that have been adapted throughout the years, as it was first recorded between 286 and 533 AD as Poem of Mulan. During the Ming Dynasty, Zhu Wei composed the play. The female Mulan joins the army in place of her father, which led the way for the popularity of the legend of Mulan for the next generation. Disney represents the character of Shan Yu of the Huns to be very spiteful, as he simply sees the Great Wall of China and decides that war would be the best source of action in order to take down the emperor. In the Wei version, a character known as Leopard Skin, who is a bandit, recruits thousands of men for his army and titles himself king in order to start a rebellion. The major difference between the two portrayals of characters is that clearly Disney did try to make their interpretation of Mulan as age-appropriate as possible. Now, the character Mulan, as told by Disney, is the only child of Fa Hao. As a constant disappointment to her parents, she sets off to war to prove herself to them. She is proven in war to be clumsy as she attempts to fit in with the men. In Wei's version, Mulan is described as a 17-year-old who is trained in archery, martial arts, and even sword fighting. Upon her return home from war, she immediately takes on her role as a weaving woman, and continues on her daily life as if her life in war had never existed. The substantial difference between the two versions gives insight to the role of women in both versions of the tale of Mulan. In the Disney version, Mulan calls herself Ping, and is guided by Mushu, who is a miniature dragon that helps her become more manly. As she struggles to complete training and is almost sent home, she suddenly is able to come around and successfully finish her training to stay and fight. In Wei's version, Mulan goes by the name of Hu, and is from the very start a good soldier. The story of Mulan is about war. In the Disney version, the creators are able to deviate away from bloodshed, as they simply depict Mulan as shooting a cannon into the mountains in order to create an avalanche. In Wei's version, the description of the battle is simply Leopard running back and forth on stage, and finally Mulan taking him down. The story of Mulan has differed throughout the years, not only through the way it has been portrayed, such as in this case of a film or a play, but the way in which Mulan has been represented in various versions, whether she is going against her parents' wishes to bring them honor, or deceiving the emperor to gain her parents' approval. The story of Mulan is that of a hero who has saved China. Both depict the role of women in medieval China, specifically Wei's version, which consciously demonstrates her difference from the men. Although this does seem to be a factor in his adaptation, it does not take away from Mulan's heroic story.